Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Monday, June 25th. Regardless of the outcome of the Supreme Court decision on healthcare this week, here's one ironclad guarantee. Your cost for healthcare will rise next year. The only question is, will it rise 8% or as high as 13%? Okay, 12.7, but who's splitting hairs over 0.3%, right? It all depends on what the outcome of the Supreme Court decision is as to what's left and how much the cost increases next year. But this really underlies the bigger issue at hand here. It never was about insurance access to healthcare. It's about cost. And until and unless we decide we want to create a consumer marketplace, put in real reforms with regard to healthcare, it's only going to continue to get worse. I mean, look, we continue down this path of a healthcare crisis, and the crisis is over cost. We've been talking about this for more than a decade. For more than a decade, we've had the average cost increase at around 8%. Now, who makes 8% more money every year? Obviously not. In fact, the average income growth over the past decade hasn't even kept up with inflation, let alone with the 8% plus that healthcare cost continues to incur. So when we get this decision, and the likelihood is that at least a portion, if not the whole thing, is thrown out, we have to get serious, and you need to influence your representatives on consumer marketplace initiatives that will actually drive down the cost of healthcare. I'm not getting into all of it here. I've talked about it at length over the course of time. But the bottom line is, you and I are great consumers. When we're charged with finding a good deal, we are really good at it. We know how to find a good price, get things out on sale. We need that type of competitive landscape. Insurance is the problem in healthcare, not the solution, because when we turn over our rights to an insurance company, it turns into a game of chicken between a healthcare provider and an insurance provider, and we don't even know what stuff costs until we get our portion of the bill. So anyway, 8 to 13%, that's what we're going to face for 2013. Facebook. If you use Facebook, a settlement entered into late on Friday will end up impacting you. Facebook is going to have to clarify its like policy. In essence, here's what you liking something means. If you like something on Facebook, your likeness, photos, and content you post on Facebook can be used by the company or the entity or whomever you liked. So in other words, you're endorsing. You're not just saying, hey, I like this. You're, for all intents and purposes, endorsing whatever it is you like. So if you like something and you see your photo, your name associated with it on Facebook, well, that's what you asked for. So over the course of this week, Facebook's going to end up sending out a new user agreement, and the probably 20 paragraphs of stuff that you'll never read, that's a big part of what it's going to contain, is information citing that you liking something actually means you're potentially endorsing something. And no, you aren't going to get compensated for doing so, unless you've got a backdoor arrangement with whatever you liked. Truck driver. Need a job? Become a truck driver. There's a real crisis here in truck driving. We have a massive shortage of drivers, in part because the turnover rate is through the roof. Get this. The average turnover rate has gone from about 70% per year, which pretty high as it is, right, to 90% a year. Imagine that. Nearly 100% turnover in truck drivers in a year. I mean, so anyway, there's tons of turnover, and here's the other problem. Younger drivers aren't coming into it, in part because of the expense attached to it. To go through the course and become licensed, it costs an average of $4,000, and a lot of people don't have the $4,000 to put down up front to get the training, to become a truck driver, to then become part of the 90% turnover. So in any event, if you are inclined, and if you have $4,000, or maybe you could borrow it, that is a good opportunity. And because there are a shortage of drivers, we're actually seeing wages rise. The average truck driver for national and regional services rose from $45,000 to $50,000 over the past 12 months. That is the cheat sheet for today. I've got plenty more, including how the color of your car can affect the outcome of a bird pooping on it. I'm serious. Check out the physical cheat sheet. We'll see you tomorrow.